Are you feeling overwhelmed by the challenges life has thrown your way? In this video, we're diving deep into the teachings of Buddhism and uncovering the secrets to handling hard times with a sense of calm and clarity. Lesson 1. Pain shapes pain is a part of life. No one escapes it. In Buddhism, pain is not something to run away from. Pain is a teacher. It is not here to destroy. It is here to shape. The Buddha taught that suffering is part of the human experience. This is the first, noble truth. Life includes pain. But Buddhism also teaches that pain is not the end. When we feel pain, we start to wake up. We stop living in dreams. We stop running after things that do not last. Pain brings us into the present. It breaks our illusions. It shows us what matters. In that way, pain helps us grow. Buddhist monks train their minds to observe pain. They do not fight it. They do not hide from it. They sit with it. They breathe through it. They learn from it. When we stay with our pain, it starts to speak. It tells us what needs healing. It shows us what is broken inside. Pain shapes our hearts. It breaks open our pride. It removes our false confidence. It makes us more human. We become softer. We become more humble. We become more compassionate. Pain opens us to others. When we suffer, we can feel the suffering of others. We understand their pain. We do not judge them. We connect with them. In Buddhism, pain can be a doorway. It leads us to wisdom. It leads us to peace, not through escape, but through awareness, through seeing clearly. Pain helps us to let go. When we lose something, we learn it was never really ours. Everything is temporary. Everything is changing. This is the law of impermanence. When we understand impermanence, pain does not destroy us. It becomes part of our path. It becomes part of our practice. Each moment of pain becomes a moment to wake up, to open our hearts, to let go, to go deeper. This does not mean pain is easy, but it has purpose. It builds strength. It builds understanding. It pushes us to search for something higher. It brings us to the teachings. It brings us to ourselves. Lesson 2. Struggle reveals struggle is not a mistake. In the Buddhist path, struggle is part of awakening. It reveals our true nature. It shows us what is inside. When life is easy, we do not see clearly. We float through life. But when struggle comes, everything becomes sharp. Everything becomes real. Struggle reveals our attachments. It shows what we are holding on to. It shows what we fear to lose. It reveals where we seek control. The Buddha taught that suffering comes from attachment. We struggle because we cling to people, to outcomes, to our own ideas. When we struggle, we learn to let go. Bit by bit, struggle reveals our limits, but also our strength. It shows where we fall, but it also shows how we rise. We begin to see that we are not as weak as we think. We carry more than we know. Struggle reveals the path. It brings us to the teachings. It forces us to look deeper. We ask what really matters, what is lasting, what brings peace. In that way, struggle brings clarity. It cuts through the noise. It brings us face to face with the truth. Buddhism teaches that life is a journey inward. Struggle helps us walk that path. It removes the false layers. It breaks our masks. It shows our raw self. This is not bad. It is real. And real is where healing begins. Struggle teaches patience. It teaches effort. It teaches balance. The Buddha spoke of the middle way. Not too much pressure, not too little. Struggle shows us where we go too far, where we hold too tight. It helps us find the balance again. Struggle also shows us where we still need to grow. It brings out our anger, our fear, our sadness, not to shame us, but to help us work with them. We cannot heal what we do not see. Struggle is the light that shows the wounds. Through this process, we build character. We learn discipline. We learn trust. Trust in the teachings. Trust in the process. Trust in life. Every struggle is a chance to practice. Every struggle is a chance to become more awake. Lesson 3. Silence heals. In Buddhism, silence is sacred. It is not empty. It is full of peace, full of wisdom. In silence, the mind can rest, the heart can breathe, the soul can listen. In hard times, silence is the medicine. It heals what noise cannot reach. We live in a loud world. Our minds are always busy, always running. But healing cannot happen in noise. It happens in stillness. This is why monks sit in silence. This is why meditation is central in Buddhism. Silence is where the real work happens. When we sit in silence, we face ourselves. We face our thoughts, our fears, our pain. At first, it is not easy. We want to run. We want to distract. But if we stay, something begins to change. The mind slows down. The breath deepens. The heart softens. In silence, we begin to understand. We begin to see clearly. We see how much we chase, how much we avoid. We see our patterns, our habits, our reactions. This awareness is the first step to change. Silence helps us return to the present, the now, this moment. The Buddha taught that true peace is found only in the present, not in the past, not in the future, only here, only now. Silence brings us home to this moment. In silence, we connect with life deeply. We hear the birds. We feel the wind. We sense the heartbeat of the world. We remember we are part of something greater, something still, something wise. When life is hard, silence becomes a refuge, a safe space, a place to breathe, a place to release. We do not need answers. We do not need control. We only need to sit, to be, to trust. Silence teaches us that we do not have to fight everything. We can simply watch. We can let go. We can be present. This is not weakness. This is strength. Inner strength. The kind that cannot be shaken. Buddha found enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. In silence. In stillness. He let go of all noise. All striving. All fear. And he woke up. You carry that same light, that same peace. It is inside you. Lesson 4. Shadows grow. Everyone has a shadow. The parts we hide, the parts we fear, the parts we do not want others to see. In Buddhism, the shadow is not something bad. It is something to understand. It is part of the path. When we avoid our shadows, we suffer. We blame others, we stay stuck. But when we look at them, we grow. The shadow shows us what is unhealed. It shows what needs love, what needs light, what needs care. Buddhism teaches that everything is part of the whole, light and dark, joy and sorrow. We do not pick one over the other. We embrace all. Only then are we free. Only then are we whole. The shadow is our teacher. It shows our hidden fears, our hidden pain, our hidden stories, not to shame us, but to help us rise. When we bring light to the shadow, it loses its power. It becomes part of our strength. Meditation helps us see the shadow. We sit, we feel, we allow, without judgment, without fear. We learn to stay. We learn to hold space for all of who we are. Shadows also show us our unmet needs, the parts of us that still feel small, still feel unworthy, still feel afraid. When we see this clearly, we can respond with compassion, with kindness, with understanding. This is how we grow, not by avoiding pain, but by walking through it, by learning from it, by turning it into wisdom. The Buddha faced his shadow before. He awakened. He faced fear. He faced desire. He faced doubt. But he did not run. He sat still. He breathed. He looked deeply. And the shadow passed. You can do the same. Your shadows are not your enemy. They are your guide. They lead you inward. They lead you home. Trust the process. Trust the darkness. It has lessons for you. Growth comes when we stop hiding, When we face all of who we are, when we accept the light and the dark, then we become real. Then we become free. Lesson 5. Pain carves. Power pain is not weakness. In Buddhism, pain can become power, not the power of control, but the power of presence, of wisdom, of peace. Pain, when understood, becomes a source of strength. Every time we survive pain, we grow stronger, not harder, but deeper, softer inside, more open, more awake. Pain humbles us. It breaks down the false self. It shows us what truly matters. Pain teaches endurance. It shows us we can go on, even when it hurts, even when we feel lost. We rise, we keep walking, we find our breath, we stay steady. The Buddha knew pain. He saw suffering all around. He left comfort. He walked a hard path. He sat through fear, through hunger, through doubt. But through that pain, he found the truth. He became awake. In our pain, we can do the same. We can turn inward. We can learn to listen, to stay grounded, to hold ourselves gently. This is the real power, the power of self-mastery, of knowing that nothing outside can shake the peace inside. Buddhism teaches that pain can break the ego, and that is a gift. When we lose the false self, we find the real self, the quiet self, the peaceful self, the self that needs nothing to feel whole. We do not have to be afraid of pain. We can walk with it, we can learn from it, we can rise from it. Each scar becomes a symbol of strength. Each tear becomes a mark of growth. Pain carves our character. It shapes our values. It teaches us kindness. We understand others better. We become more loving, more present, more wise. True power is not loud. It is not force. It is calm. It is steady. It is clear. Pain helps us find that power. It teaches us what no book can teach. It teaches us through experience. Lesson 6. Quiet breaks. Patterns run our lives. We think the same, feel the same, react the same, again and again. Buddhism teaches that we are not our patterns. We are the awareness behind them. To break patterns, we must become quiet, still, aware. This is why silence matters. This is why mindfulness is key. When we slow down, we see clearly. We notice our thoughts. We notice our habits. We see where we hurt ourselves. We see where we hold on too tight. In that seeing, change becomes possible. Without awareness, we repeat. We blame life. We blame others. But the real shift comes from within. We must break the cycle. We must choose a new way. The Buddha taught about the mind. He said it can be trained, like a muscle. We do not have to follow every thought. We do not have to act on every emotion. We can pause, we can breathe, we can choose. This is how we break patterns, slowly, gently, with awareness, with kindness, not with force, not with hate, but with quiet, with stillness. Each moment we stop is a moment of power, a moment of choice, a moment of freedom. Quiet gives us that space, that breath, that clarity. When we become quiet, we learn to respond, not react. We find peace in chaos. We find wisdom in confusion. We break the pattern of fear, of anger, of pain. Lesson 7. Fall into purpose. In Buddhism, nothing is wasted, not even pain, not even loss. Everything has meaning. Everything can serve the path. When we fall into purpose. Hard times may feel like the end, but they are often the beginning, the start of awakening, the start of true seeing. When life breaks us, it also opens us. The Buddha said that our real home is peace. But to reach that home, we must walk through fire. We must lose what we cling to. We must fall so we can rise. Each fall teaches us something about love, about truth, about letting go, about what matters most. These lessons shape our purpose. They give meaning to our journey. Purpose is not always clear at first. It is, not always loud. Sometimes it grows in silence, in pain, in stillness. We do not find purpose by chasing. We find it by living, by falling, by learning. Buddhism teaches that life is not a straight path. It twists, it turns, it flows. Each step is sacred. Each fall is part of the dance. We trust the process. We trust the unfolding. You have purpose, even when you feel lost, even when you feel broken. Your life is part of something greater. Each fall brings you closer to that truth.